super quick. Hello, my wonderful friends, and welcome to yet another edition of the Nintendo News Roundup. This week, we probably have fewer stories than we have had in I don't even know how long. I suppose it's the calm before the E3 storm. But that's actually good because I need to get this recorded before my housemates wake up. So let's get started. The big news this week, we finally have it. We finally have a date and time for Nintendo's E3 Direct. Really not sure why they took this long. It was starting to get, not like super worrisome, but just like a tiny bit weird. Like, what are they waiting for? I feel like they usually have this kind of thing set up further in advance. I'm quite pleased. It's coming Tuesday the 15th. 9 a.m. Pacific, so completely standard for Nintendo's E3 presentations. I'm glad because tomorrow I'm actually rushing to finish everything today because tomorrow I'm going on a family trip and I was like getting worried that, because I still need to do the pre-show videos. So like I get back from the trip, I have to jump right back into that and I'm like, what if they do it weird? What if they do it on the weekend? I was getting all freaked out that I just ruin everything, but it didn't. I'll be fine. I'll be good. Tuesday, 15th, 9 a.m. I'll be seeing you guys there. Details for Pokemon Go Fest have been announced. It'll take place in July with slightly differing times depending on your region. It'll cost $4.99, and maybe the last time they announced a Go Fest or an event like this, I might have talked about it, but I still cannot get over how genius this idea is. I don't know, like, it seems like a relatively new addition to like free-to-play game monetization, but it's so genius. Sometimes it can be hard to get someone to buy anything, but then it's just like, oh, it's a big event and everyone's playing and you can only do it for this thing and it's only $5. Like, everyone's gonna do it. They probably make $1 billion just on that little $4.99 price point because it's exciting and it's fun. I don't know. Just genius. According to Matt Piscatella, it seems that the launch sales for new Pokemon Snap have doubled the sales of the original Pokemon Snap on the N64. And that is pretty impressive. Less impressive and more expected when you consider that the Switch just has a much larger install base than the N64. But more impressive, again, when you consider that the N64, that was the beginning of the massive Pokemon craze that just like took over the world. Also, this appears to just be physical sales. I'm sure with digital sales, it's probably triple the number. Not triple the sales number. I mean, like triple the original instead of double the original. Something like that. I don't know, but like obviously off to a really nice start. Speaking of all that, apparently the Pokemon Company has recorded its best year ever. This does seem to be largely thanks to Pokemon Go, but it is especially impressive in a year with no major mainline Pokemon release. We had the DLC, but we did not have brand new games. This was mostly Pokemon Go. I am not 100% sure on this graph here. This is the only info I'm getting. There's got to be more to this story. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me that before Pokemon Go, they were making that little money, when even at that time, they had the highest grossing media franchise in the world. They were still making tons on merch and cartoons and games and stuff. There's got to be something missing here. I've seen a couple people speculate that this is just like how revenue is shared within the company, and this is specifically Pokemon Company, but it could be different with, I don't know, Game Freak and Nintendo, and who even knows. But at the same time, we know that they've recorded the best year ever. And that's just really impressive. And another perfect segue into impressive sales. Apparently the Switch has reached 20 million units sold just in Japan. And that is very impressive, just considering the geographical, the size and populations and all that stuff. That's a ton. It's like a quarter of the Switch's sales so far, all just in Japan. But we knew it'd be a great thing in Japan because they really love handheld gaming. And we get a new updated top 5 as far as software goes. Animal Crossing: New Horizons, not surprising, on the top. Smash, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Mario Kart. I'm just happy to see Splatoon on there. Very happy. It's just still such a new thing. It's still only a few years old, and it just warms my heart to see it in the top 5 in Japan. That's so cool. Couple Switch Pro rumors. As usual, sorry, you can plug your ears if you don't want, for the next like minute and a half if you don't want to hear this. According to a Spanish site, Vandal, which was citing a Chinese accessory maker, allegedly, they claim that the quote-unquote Switch Pro will have a 7-inch widescreen with almost no bezel, so just taking up like the whole space there, thicker dock with an Ethernet port in it, and perhaps most interestingly, a Surface-style flap for the back. You know, the Switch has the horrible little kickstand that's really awful. They're saying this will have like the bigger kind of wedge thing, like a Microsoft Surface. It just kind of like comes out and props the whole thing up. That would certainly be a pretty big improvement. Speaking of Switch Pro, apparently a new Switch Pro was listed on Amazon Mexico. On one hand, retailer listings can mean almost nothing because anybody can just put it into the system, and they put rumored stuff into the system all the time. But on the other hand, this retailer has already spoiled, like leaked some stuff in the past, most notably the Spyro Reignited trilogy. They listed that early, took it down, and then it got revealed, so who even knows? We're done with the Switch Pro, I'm sorry, moving on. Apparently, Nintendo has been sending out servers to select customers, asking about pricing. The whole discussion about this got started by Andrew from Beta64. He's a great guy, we've hung out. He tweeted that his wife received a survey where Nintendo was asking her if she would be willing to pay $49.99 for a WarioWare game. And according to the Nintendo Life article on this, it seems that some people are also getting surveys about brain training. Right now, we'll see how many people get these surveys, what kind of games they cover. I'll only say we don't know if it means anything, but I like the idea that Nintendo may potentially be thinking about pricing, because I do feel that they often put games at a disadvantage by pricing them too high. They seem to have very old-fashioned ideas of how things should be priced, even like really small games, really small budget games that if it was coming from any other studio, it'd be 25 bucks, you know, giving them $50, $60, whatever. Sushi Strikers comes to mind as a sushi puzzle game that they still made 50 bucks or whatever. I don't know if this means that Nintendo is like, you know what, maybe we should start like asking people ahead of time. Like, would you spend $50 on this? You know, then that'd be great if they're at least toying with the idea of changing their pricing philosophies. Apparently, on the European eShop, the Age of Calamity expansion pass was listed for free. And usually when this kind of thing happens, like, you know, for example, Color Splash, when that launched, there was an exploit where people were able to boot it up and play it early. But, like, it was very small, and not a lot of people were able to get on it because then Nintendo, like, closed it up super quick. Apparently this was a thing, and like there was enough time for people to report on it and other people to go and be like, yeah, we're like, check the comments on any article about this. You get a bunch of people being like, oh, what do you know? It worked. I just got the expansion pass for free. We don't know, and you know, by now it's down, but we don't know if they're going to be honoring this. I mean, it seems kind of weird if it says that you've purchased it, but you didn't spend any money on it. So does that mean Nintendo probably has the right to just revoke your access to it because you didn't actually pay for it? It was a thing. So I don't know. Don't really know. Nintendo hasn't released any sort of statement on this or anything, but we'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens there. See if a bunch of people just got it for free. Sometime back, we reported on how an Animal Crossing manga called Deserted Island Diary was getting localized. This is a manga about what happens to your Animal Crossing villagers when you're not there, which is a very cute concept. The first volume is finally coming September 14th. It will be available for $9.99. And if you click the affiliate link down in the description, just kidding. There's no affiliate links. Mario Kart Tour is launching a new thing. They do things like little tours with themes and stuff, and the latest one is a wedding tour. So Mario's got this wedding suit, and I guess I'm reporting on it because I don't have a lot of stories this week. I don't know what to tell you. Nintendo has won a lawsuit against one Matthew Storman from ROM Universe, which is a website that, you know, provided an emulation website providing ROMs. Normally, I would not want to take Nintendo's side on this, but you gotta admit this was a pretty cut and dry case. Storman was actually profiting off of this. He was selling like premium subscription models, you know, to give people access to like more downloads and all that stuff. Basically, he was profiting from it, which is like, no. Why do you? What makes you think that's okay? But apparently, I don't want to talk a bunch of stuff about this guy, but he also chose to represent himself in court, which I take to mean he did not have a lawyer, and he just pled not guilty the whole entire time, even though even a layman could see, no, yeah, you're really guilty, super guilty. So apparently Nintendo is going to get $2.1 million from him, And they wanted 15 million, but they settled for 2.1. I don't know how anybody who gets sued in a case like this even almost pays up. I really don't understand. But I try not to think about it because it's too scary. So, okay, moving on. Nintendo is deciding to take one of their old plants, their old, like, I don't know if you'd call it a factory, but just one of their old places they used to do stuff in, and they're going to turn it into a Nintendo gallery. Just kind of I suppose like a museum kind of thing, just kind of showing off their products and their history and everything. And that's kind of cool. I suppose that means that they just owned the building and it's just been kind of sitting there, and they're like, you know what, that old place, just sitting there. Just throw some Mario stuff in there and tell everyone how cool Mario is, in case they forgot. It is expected to open in 2024. Now I'm really sounding like a newscaster now. That's pretty good. And now a few fan stories. We have some very talented, enterprising Nintendo fans here today. These folks right here are working on a port of Super Mario Galaxy, but the port is on the DS. They've got Super Mario Galaxy running on a DS. Obviously, they're having to do, I mean, they're doing legitimate work here, you know, like replacing models and tweaking, you know, it's not, it's a DS, it's not even a 3DS, it's a DS. It's not something you could just drag and drop it over there. So it's like, I don't know, they're doing some legitimate port work here, and it's really impressive what they've got running so far. I can only hope that this scores them a job in the future. It won't be with Nintendo, but there are many other game companies who can actually look at this and instead of getting mad, go, hey, wow, you're actually really good at this. So that's cool. Some other fans have dug up deleted scenes from the 1993 Mario movie, if you remember that old thing. So they've kind of like restored and put together an extended cut of the movie with 21 extra minutes of previously unseen footage. I'm not even 100% sure where they got that footage, but they put it all together. There you go. 2-hour-long Mario movie, if that's a thing you've ever wanted to see. Finally, one Salem X Banks on Reddit was cleaning up some trash and found an old N64 cartridge. And this thing is just obviously completely ruined. The label is just completely gone, but there's like some little tiny bits of color here and there. And so now the latest mystery going around is, what's the game? What was this game? Everyone's just trying to piece it together based on the tiniest of clues on what's left of the label. Who knows if they will ever solve it, but I thought that was kinda funny. Well, that's it for this edition of the Nintendo News Roundup, folks. I will see you next week for the final roundup before E3. Are you excited? I'm a teeny, weeny, tiny bit excited. Maybe a little. I'll see you later. Goodbye.